How do you feel about inviting work colleagues?
I think it depends. It depends on your work situation. If you work at a small company and you're inviting 5 of the 8 people, that's uncomfortable. You kind of need to invite all 8 of them. If you work at a big corporation and you're inviting, just your team, sure, that's great. So I think kind of it goes back to that same thing, set the rules, make sure that, if you hang out with them outside of work, then yeah, they're probably your friends and it makes sense to invite them. If you guys just hang out at work, probably don't have to invite them in that. I think it's very easy to explain, you know what, we're just not inviting work people because we didn't want to make it uncomfortable.
Sure. No, that makes perfect sense. I have 2 words for you.
Yes.
Plus ones.
That is literally what I was just thinking. So that can be a totally whole other, kind of beast of the guest list. So general rule is if they're married, they should definitely get that +1.
Sure.
If they are in a serious relationship, so they're engaged, they live together, they've been together for 5 years, it really is appropriate to invite their +1. If you have someone who's single and doesn't have necessarily a +1, but they know they're part of your huge group of friends, so maybe all of your sorority sisters or all your work people, then in that case you don't necessarily have to give them a +1. But if it's a friend who maybe doesn't know a lot of people, or friends who are traveling from afar who maybe wouldn't come because they would feel uncomfortable without a +1,
sure,
then I think it's a super nice thing to kind of extend that +1 if your budget can allow. So
yeah, it goes back to budget.
It does go back to budget. I mean, you got to think about, would you rather have your friend there with their +1 who you may not know, or
that second cousin
that
got
second
cut,
cousin.
right?
Yeah,
no, it makes sense. No, that's I know that's kind of a tricky thing too.
Yeah.
And now I'm just curious, what would you do if somebody just brought a +1 anyway, or wrote in on an RSVP that they're +2
so
or +1?
Both things can happen. If someone writes in a +1, it's kind of a question of, how uncomfortable do you want to be?
Right. Right.
So, if you really have a tight space or a tight budget and you just don't have the space to allow for that +1, call them, let them know, hey, look, I'm really sorry, but we're on a tight budget, or we just don't have any more space in the venue and we only have 1 chair reserved for you. You can definitely indicate that on the invitation as well to kind of help avoid some of those awkward conversations.
Sure.
Sometimes people just kind of let it go. If someone shows up with a +1, usually your coordinator is going to just kind of make it happen. So that's one of those.
At least have a coordinator.
Yes, at least have a coordinator because they will just make that happen. They'll get them a chair. They'll make sure they have food. Is it ideal? No, but it does happen.